Well, the Trump administration taking the unprecedented step of stopping all federal grant and loan programs in their tracks. The pause, which goes into effect later today, will immediately impact hundreds of billions of dollars in money that states, local communities, and tribal governments rely on for everything from health care to education to housing assistance and disaster relief. The freeze also stops foreign aid and support for nonprofits, including money for a highly successful anti-AIDS program. The administration calls the freeze temporary, pending a government-wide review. But as of now, there is no indication how long the freeze will last. NewsNation's Khalil joins us live. So, Joe, that deadline coming up in just hours. What's been the reaction on Capitol Hill?
Well, reaction is pouring in, Kelly. You mentioned we should lay it out again here. The policy that the new administration laid out was that it was going to temporarily put a pause on all federal funding except for Social Security and Medicare and money that goes directly from the federal government to individuals. Everything else gets a freeze. All grants, all federally funded programs nationwide until this White House says its OMB team, the Office of Management and Budget, and its economic team can review each and every program to see whether or not it aligns with the values of this White House. That is the phrase that they are using. Take a listen, or not a listen rather, but read with us here part of that memo that the administration put out. They say, quote, federal agencies must temporarily pause all activities related to obligation or disbursement of federal financial assistance, including but not limited to foreign aid, non-governmental organizations, DEI, woke gender ideology, and the Green New Deal. They went on to say that the use of federal resources to advance Marxist equity and transgenderism and Green New Deal social engineering is a waste of taxpayer dollars and doesn't help ordinary Americans. Now, the issue that Democrats are ringing alarm bells over is the fact that they say they don't know how to read those definitions. They say the memo itself is incredibly broad, and they frankly don't know which programs are being paused, which ones are not going to be paused. Are there any permanent pauses? They don't know. And what senators are saying this morning is that they're getting phone calls. Their phones are off the hooks with programs in their state, wondering whether or not they're going to be in existence much longer. We heard from several Democratic senators today. Senator Klobuchar saying things like there was a mother with a child that has cancer and they're going through cancer trials for treatment right now. That is federally funded. That mother not sure whether that funding is going to continue. All kinds of programs like, they say, Meals on Wheels, even money that goes to state police agencies, Head Start programs, and several others, just question marks around all of it. Take a listen to just a bit of what Democratic leader Schumer said today about this.
Donald Trump has shut off billions, perhaps trillions of dollars that directly support states, cities, towns, schools, hospitals, small businesses, and most of all, American families. This is a dagger at the heart of the average American family in red states, in blue states, in cities, in suburbs, in rural areas.
On the other side of the Capitol, House Democrats also putting out a letter basically questioning and asking the Office of Management and Budget clarify what programs might be on the chopping block and what are safe. They are wondering that, too, and also getting calls. So a lot of concern there. This is part of that letter that they sent out, signed by 154 House Democrats. They say the language is vague and sweeping implications here. So they're worried about infrastructure and broadband projects. We did speak to some Republicans as well. So far, some Republicans are saying, let's not overreact to this temporary pause. They key in on the word temporary, and they say if there are legal issues here, if there's any question that the White House may be overstepping its own authority, that the courts are going to handle that. So Republicans essentially telling their Democratic counterparts not to be overdoing it here. But still, as you can imagine, a lot of uncertainty, Kelly, and major reaction that will continue throughout the day here unless the White House gives a bit more clarification on what is going to happen, what programs they're looking at.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.